to my channel. Videos. Am I live? It doesn't look like I am yet. Okay, so according to Streamlabs, I should be live. Let me check my YouTube and make sure. Okay, according to this, I'm live. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. According to this, I'm live. Live chat and mute. It's always nice when I can mute myself. Okay, hi folks. Sorry I'm so very late. Well, 5 minutes. Not terrible, but late enough that I'm not happy about it. Let me minimize the screen and put my pretty face up for you guys. Hi, how you doing? Okay, as usual, I'm boomering just a little bit because I didn't have chat loaded up. Will live chat come up on its own on Streamlabs this time? It says I need to sign into chat. That's funny because I'm already signed in. Full screen. Okay, let's see if I can't find my chat here. Nobody in chat yet. Let's give you all a hail all. And pop out the chat. And minimize that window. Go back to live chat because nobody likes being in top chat. Because top chat sucks. And come on down. All right. Okay, so today, as you can see from our lovely thumbnail, I'm promoting a couple of new creatives, or new creative projects. I really should have changed that subtitle. I meant to put new creative projects, not new creatives, but anyway. Those of you who are... Hello, monkey! Holy crap, you finally caught a stream. It's very good to see you. And just to make it fair, now you can see me. Hi. So what I'm doing today, as you can see from the lovely thumbnail, which should have been showing over here and isn't. Let me just see if I can't bring that up on my other screen. Bloody bollocking feck. That's open. Where are you? There you are. We'll open that thumbnail. And that looks terrible because it's on paint. But what can you do? Let's move this over here and see if we can't get that to show itself. Of course it doesn't want to show there because that's only Brave. Okay, so anyway, I won't even worry about that too much. So on the left side here you have, I can't pronounce that. I think it's Duryodhana Purana. Though I'm probably pronouncing it horribly. I will show you the page in just a second. Hello, Billy Blogs. How much weight have I lost? I have no idea. I haven't been getting weighed. I feel a little lighter, but I couldn't say for sure. I may, in fact, be gaining as the winter is coming on. I'm currently not in a position to worry too much about it. I have to eat what I can afford, not what will do me healthy. Let's see. Just to get that. Oh, and hello, student of history as well. And already Billy has gotten himself... That's not a dog, Billy. That's a lion. And I don't know why that comment was hidden other than possibly the word piss being in there. For the love of God, YouTube, stop doing that. So, anyway, on this side you see Kami marks. I'm going to say Duryodhana, but I suspect I may have covered something up, and that might be supposed to be Purodhana Purana. This is one of his Krishna Kid comic books. On this side, on the right side rather, is Gothix. She's a YouTuber as well. To be fair, I might need the extra weight this winter, Billy. That's true. But in any case, Gothix is on the right side here. She's promoting a movie that she appears in called The Last Amendment. I'm hopeful neither of them will throw strikes at me for showing it. But on this side, now I can kill that private tab. This is Kami Mark's Okay, maybe it is the Of course, it's not written anywhere else, so I can't tell if it's a D or a P. I'm going to assume it's a D and call it the Duryodhana Purana. I won't show you guys the trailers, actually, because now that I'm thinking about it, there is some music in both of them. Student of History says he's going to be right back. He's ordering food. YouTube says no urination on the Christian server. Yeah. I would... Well, anyway. We're not quite far enough into the stream for me to say what I would do to YouTube servers at this point. But in any case, Kami Mark is a YouTuber and a comic book artist. So this is his... both of those links, all the links that I'm using should be in the description. If not, I know I've put the links at least to the projects themselves in. If you search YouTube for Kami Mark using an I, using a 1 instead of the I in his name. Oh, and apparently he's got a 13 in there. I thought it was an IE, but that's how I searched it, and that's how I found it. So I guess that's a 13, not an E. I don't know Cyrillic, so I couldn't tell you. So this is his comic book, Indiegogo, which has 3 days left on it. And he is most of the way to his goal. He only needs about $850. So if you guys are interested, hello Violence, good to see you. I think he is an avowed commie, but as I understand it from talking to Aiden, who associates with him freely, he is a good fellow. I've spoken with him kind of more through chat than anything else, and I don't see him necessarily being a terribly horrendous person, but again, my focus is on promoting creatives who aren't in the super woke space. As he explains it, this is not super woke. I will play part of this, but I'll play it on mute, and I'm going to skip about a little bit. Go away, whatever you are, so you can see some of the artwork here. It's quite nice, I think. What are we looking at here? From the mind of Kami Mark, and take that as you will. But this does seem to be pretty interesting artwork. That's, I guess, the date when he started his campaign for this one. And as you can see, it's heavily Hindi-inspired or Hindu-inspired artwork, which is interesting. I'm not particularly familiar with any of this. Here you go, krishnakid.com if you're interested. And also Indiegogo, obviously this link right here. And if you're interested in finding out more about Mark, well, he's got something called Gay Space Communism, so I'm starting to think maybe he's a bit of a parody guy. Who knows? In any case, that's Kami Mark's campaign. And just to bring it back, as you can see on the right side here, Gothix, who is a YouTuber I followed for a while. She's promoting a movie called, well, I'll show you Gothix real quick. This is Gothix. And she's mostly a political commentator who's definitely up against the anti-Western crowd. So this is The Last Amendment. Again, I can't run any of the videos because I'm pretty sure they all have music in them. But this is the official trailer. I'll hit mute, hit play, hit pause, and you can see, now this movie has billed itself as the first anti-woke movie. So I'm guessing they're placing the woke crowd in very much the villain role. In space, no one can hear you scream. I guess if it's gay space communism, it's no one can hear you starve. But in any case, we'll just take a zip through this a little bit. You can see the lovely, I believe this is the Tolerance Enforcement or something like that is what these guys are called, this particular force. Oh, is it going to let me? Yes, okay. There are quite a number of ideological villains in this lady being among them. And if I can get this to skip along. This is the enforcement team. I'm somewhat amused by the fact that even though he's very tall and, physically he would almost automatically end up striding ahead of them, that he is in fact out in front of these two ladies of color. Ladies being used very loosely for these characters. And if I recall correctly, I believe this is Gothics. But I'm not 100% sure. You guys would have to guess as hard as I do. In any case, just popping along here. So you can see that this lady is offended by the fact that if you put two magnets of the same type together, they repel each other. And she uses it to... Billy is just having fun in the chat, I see. Yes, Billy, in fact, a communist does want to make a profit off his labor. Yeah, oh, another message held for review. Really? Just the word gay now? Seriously. Something wrong with YouTube. There's nothing wrong with the word gay, YouTube, and there's really nothing wrong with the word commies. Especially considering Commie Mark himself uses it. Hopefully the manual reviewer will take that into account before he strikes me. In any case, this lady, as I said, she's very offended by the idea that putting two poles, or two identical poles of a magnet together are offensive because they repel each other. And she does make quite a lot of hash out of the idea that this is somehow counter or homophobic. The trailer's actually quite good. As you can see, they go a little bit off their heads, and this is exactly what this movie seems to be parodying, is the idea that oh, hello Sasquatch. Violence was having a nap. I hope you're doing well, Violence. I know you're quite far along. Let me see. Billy says, I thought being gay was great these days. I think it was the combination possibly of gay and commie. Who knows? It's getting harder and harder to tell every time. I guess I should have adjusted that before I sat down. What have I got? Oh, that's my mic stand. Just 1 second. Let me just tip that out of the shot, because I don't really want it there. That's better. Okay. Speaking of the mic, can you guys all hear me okay? I'm hoping you can. No one seems to have complained yet. And as I said, hello, Sasquatch. Good to see you. I'll see you again on Thursday, of course. Since I'm taking the moment, I will let you guys know I have I think it's more of a guest appearance than an interview with Patriot Brunchcast on, thank you, Lightbulb. I have a guest appearance on Patriot Brunchcast's Brunchcast on Tuesday, though that's going to be later in the evening for me, if I recall correctly. And, oh, the mic is 5x5, excellent. And the gentleman who just told me that, being trapped in space. Yes, Billy, it is the combination of the words gay and commies. Stop that. Yes, this wonderful hairy gentleman, Caucasian Sasquatch, has also invited me onto his show. I will be on Thursday. And if you guys are in the Discords, I've already shilled the hell out of both of those. And I do believe I have tweeted and gettered and parlayed and MeWeed, which I really don't like when you add a D to that, because that looks like you mewed. Minded. If I haven't done it already, I will do it before too much longer. And certainly well in time for you guys to have a look at the videos. And of course, once I start, I'll actually be shilling them out right away. Billy is happy. He knows how to trigger YouTube now. Great commies is haram. Possibly, student. Possibly. If you're having recurring nightmares about being trapped in a spaceship with gay commies, Billy, you may want to seek therapy. Not because you're having a nightmare, not because you're trapped in a gay spaceship, not because you're trapped with commies, but because you're having recurring nightmares. Anyway, let's go back to the trailer here, and I'll skip through the rest of this. And as you can see, the classic book burning scene, St. Greta's middle school waste disposal. They're throwing out, anything to do with strong white males. So this is Isaac Newton, or possibly Francis Bacon. Correct me if I got that wrong, chat. Any one of those might need help. Yeah, that's very true, Sasquatch. Any one of those could need therapeutic aid. So as the title of the movie is The Last Amendment, I think this is quite a funny little logo they've chosen. Not exactly fear-inspiring, but what can you do? And they've taken a play on a fairly famous slogan at this point and said, "You'll know nothing and you'll be happy." And of course there's St. Greta, patron saint of drowning polar bears. And of course, if you're interested, you can buy merch, donate. That's a little crazy for a t-shirt, but interesting. They have two different logos. I'm not sure which one of these I like less. It's no offense to the artwork. It's just, it's doing exactly what it's intended to do. It's fucking ugly. Is there? Okay, there's a few more things here. So here are your options here anyway. Yeah, and 135 Canadian is still pretty high. Okay, so we'll take one quick look at Gothix. Her content is pretty good. She reacts to libs of TikTok. She reacts to a lot of the anti-white stuff. She likes Tom MacDonald, which is how I actually came across her. Because I was looking at the same... I don't think it was necessarily this video. I think it was probably White Boy or something like that. And saw her reacting to it and just really enjoyed it. Caucasian says, "Eat a live frog first thing in the morning and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day." Yeah. Student of history calls her the patron saint of interrupted energy infrastructure. It's a good call. Yep. She's been told she's not black enough. She likes to go after the grifters. Or possibly this is the name of her one of her series. Speaking of series, now I'm thinking about that, I might as well bring me back again. I'm going to start doing a weekly movie review. So starting tomorrow, the video was filmed today. I watched the movie last night. It was Appaloosa from 2008. And if you're interested in my thoughts on that movie, you'll be able to see the video tomorrow. It's just another Shed video with a pretty thumbnail. Stop bullying me, Disco. Anyway, let's put that back on screen. So that's some of... oh, there we are. Okay, so that's some of Gothic's content. So we will close that one. And we are done with The Last Amendment. So we'll have a look through at some of Kami Mark's stuff. Now, Kami Mark is more of a gamer. I think that's more the space he hangs out in. But he's obviously not happy about SJWs, which is interesting, considering a lot of us do tend to... Yeah, bully hard for a change. Yeah. Careful, monkey, you're in my house now. I can time you out for once. I have no idea what this gay space communism thing is, but anything that does this to Stalin is okay with me. So yeah, that's some of Kami Mark's stuff. So I don't think there's a lot in the news that I wanted to cover today. Let me have a think. Okay, what was in the news this week? Oh, actually, I do remember what was in the news. If I can get that back, I'll have to go to the Catholic Register and bring that up directly. National Catholic Register. No, I'm not looking for an actual organization. I'm looking for a newspaper. There, okay. And the Catholic Register, which I will grab and put over on this screen, because I'm looking for a story they posted. Oops, that was wrong, because I'm an idiot. Too many clicks. Paste and go. Okay. So we'll close that again. Bring my glorious face back to me. That's not working. Why is that not working? There, okay. Just had a bit of a screw around with my... Okay, let's see. Now, these people talk about themselves in pretty glowing terms. It's the oldest English Catholic publication in Canada, founded in 1893. But its roots reach back 30 years earlier, and that's fine. What I'm looking for is the story about this. Here we are. Now, I covered this earlier in the week, but I did say I want... Why is this being held for review? Billy's comment, don't eat the frogs that look like SJWs. Yeah, but those are the ones that give you the hallucinations. I mean, come on, Billy. It's either swallow a live frog and have no sort of fun, or, swallow a live frog and, trip balls for a month. In any case, this is the story that I covered earlier this week, and it was talked about a little bit on Sultans yesterday, but I did want to get more deeply into it. So, Bill C-230 was shot down in Parliament last week, I believe. I believe it was October 5th that it had its second hearing. Yeah, right here. Second hearing was October 5th, and nearly every Liberal, NDP, and Bloc Québécois MP were among the 208 votes against it. What that means is the Bloc Québécois, which bills itself as a traditional conservative party, is against the idea that people should have the right to refuse to participate in medically assisted death for reasons of conscience. And I will give the Catholic Register writers this. Susan Cora herself. She has a... where was that headline? No, not this one. Okay, maybe it wasn't the headline. It was probably this line here. That it's died in the House of Commons. It's... how did she put it? I think she put it differently down here. Where was October 5th? Here. Yeah, it died a premature death. She definitely wants to get the idea that this is about death and killing. Yes, student, they are French conservatives, but they're also Canadian French conservatives. And generally what that means is you don't want to actually kill people that don't need killing. Ideally. Okay, Billy's talking about how you already bully me. Yes, how the turns have tabled, student. Let's see. Anything of that level of THC content will have you riding the rails a bit. I don't believe the active ingredient in frogs is THC. Otherwise, everybody would be smoking the French people. French conservative misspelled surrender. Traditionalists. Anyway, just to come back over to here. I absolutely agree with Alex Schadenberg. He's the executive director of Euthanasia Prevention Coalition. The need for conscience rights has not ended. In fact, in our Charter of Rights and Freedoms, I believe it's Section 2. I may have put too many E's in there. No, I didn't. Okay. So Section 2 of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms provides for various freedoms: expression, religion, thought, belief, peaceful assembly, freedom of association. Peaceful assembly, I have my issues with, because that basically gives, well, there's massive issues with this anyway, because all of this basically says the government decides what your rights are, not you, or not the fact that you were simply born. Sasquatch, they would probably taste of garlic and cheese curds. But one of the, if I recall correctly, under freedom of belief should be where conscience is. Oh, okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Let me just try here. Freedom of conscience and religion. So essentially, fundamental freedoms say you have freedom of conscience. So by knocking down this bill, no, let's keep her off screen. By knocking down this bill, what's happened is that the federal liberals, the tyrannical Trudeau party, yes, YouTube, I said that, no, I don't care, they've basically said, not only will we take away your right to bodily autonomy, we're now going to take away the right of a physician to say, no, I won't override this person's bodily autonomy because I don't believe it's right. Wow. Yeah, that's a bit much. And one of the things I will point out to my Canadian viewers, if I have any, is this little part here that really ought to be paid attention to. It's not only that nearly every Liberal, NDP, and Bloc MP were against it, it's that only most of the Conservatives voted in favor of it. Now, what this bill actually did was not so much protect conscience rights as, let me see here. Oh, that's not helpful. There we are. Okay. So this bill would have amended the Criminal Code of Canada to make it an offense to intimidate a medical practitioner, basically a medical person, or any healthcare professional into taking part directly or indirectly in the provision of MAID. Now, if you don't know what MAID is, that one is covered right there. It's medical assistance in dying. They used to call it death with dignity. They also used to call it assisted suicide. For the Americans who are a little older, you'll remember it as getting Kevorkianed. Yeah, it's a choice I think people should have the right to make, but by the same token, I also think that the right to say, no, I don't believe this is right, should also be honored. So, yeah. The idea of this would be that it would have made it criminal to try to force someone to take part. Well, to intimidate. But, yeah. It was also intended to make an offense to fire or to refuse to hire any healthcare worker whose conscience does not allow them to take part in providing medically assisted death. Now, medically assisted death, I will also point this out. It doesn't only happen to the old folks. Medically assisted death is also another way to define abortion. And somewhere out there, there's an SJW screaming, "It's just a club of self!" No. No, human life. Fuck off. Now, I've made it clear before, I'm not in favor of a 100% ban on abortion. I would even go so far as to say I take the older Hillary Clinton approach of safe, legal, and rare. Heavy emphasis on the rare. And, sorry. Starting to think that light bulb comes on whenever I make a good holy point. God is smiling on me. Yes, violence. It is fair to say that abortion is essentially murder. Okay. Let me just have a quick scan through the chat here, make sure I didn't miss anything super screamy and important that anybody yelled. Student of history said he was ordering food. I hope it was healthy and very cheap. Billy asked me if I checked out that novel he posted an ad for in Discord. Billy, if you tagged me, I will see it at some point today. I don't think I've seen it yet. If you posted it yesterday, I would suggest tagging me again just in case. Is there such a thing as a good commie? Yes. Yeah, well, and then your next point, Billy, is that a commie wants to make profit off his labor. Yeah, with Mark, I don't think he's necessarily in the good commie camp. But, you know, when it comes to people like, say, and Mark, I want you to understand, I'm not making this association intentionally to disparage you in any way. But when you look at other people who call themselves commies, Hassan Piker, Vosh, it's very clear that these people are intent on grifting. I don't believe Mark is. I think Mark honestly holds a belief that communism has utilitarian purpose. If there was a way we could make it work, sure. If it wasn't for human nature, communism probably... Okay, fine. If it wasn't for human nature, I think that communism potentially could work. I really ought to turn those lights so they face me. But anyway. Excuse me. The problem is that you can't change human nature. Somebody said keep up the good work. Gold Banker. Hi, Gold Banker. I don't know if I've seen you here before, so welcome and thanks for being here. Let me see here. Billy Block says fabulous. That gave was great. Stunning, brave, fabulous. Yeah. Let me see. I'm curious what ended up. Yeah. Anyway. Student, you said something about Che and Fidel, but I didn't quite understand what you were getting at. Violet says she's watching on her phone using headphones. Abortion's murder. Good morning, Sean Stryker. Hi, Stryker. The bad apple analogy is broken. And Violence says, yes, human nature doesn't change. Sean Stryker says he shared me to Facebook. Thank you very much. Shared to Discord. I've probably... Well, yeah, if you're not in all the same Discords I am, then by all means, have at it. We don't say it's just a few bad apples because it's fine to get a few bad apples. Well, I don't like bad apples. I'm not a big apple fan anyway, but bad ones, no. But it's unavoidable that you're going to get bad apples. For sure. Let me see. Is there anything else in this article I want to cover? And he did, Schadenberg did point out that while a federal law would have protected these rights through the criminal code, provincial legislation can do it just as well, since healthcare is under provincial jurisdiction. Which is why, if I recall correctly, yes, right here. Manitoba is the only province that currently guarantees conscience rights protections for medical practitioners. And other provinces need to be lobbied. So let's have a look at Euthanasia Prevention Coalition to see what their focus is. But this is a particularly important issue to me because I would quite like to have the right to say, okay, I'm not going to get any better. I'm blind, deaf, old, senile, what have you. Put me down. I want to have the right to make that decision for myself. I do not want a doctor to be able to make it for me. I also don't want to have to force someone to perform a procedure on me that they don't believe is moral. Let's see the About page. And my internet is extremely slow today. Have I dropped any frame? I haven't dropped a single frame yet, though, so that's something. President Gordon Friesen, Amy Hasbrook, Christina Hodgetts, Alex Schadenberg is the executive director. Alphabetically, directors at large, Fergus Devereaux. That guy could be a Newfoundlander. That is very much a Newfoundland name. Irish and French. Dan Heffernan, Heidi Jans. She's probably from, or almost certainly from out west. Jim Mahoney, Jen Romneys, Adelaide Ventura. That sounds like an action star's name. They don't have a treasurer at the moment. Anybody looking for a job? Other than me, I mean. So their beliefs. Here we are. Euthanasia is the deliberate killing of someone by action or omission with or without that person's consent, for what are claimed to be compassionate reasons. Assisted suicide is counseling, abetting, or an act of aiding someone to kill him or herself. I like that they make it very clear they're binary people. And there's the light back on again. Thank you, Jesus. Members of the coalition believe that euthanasia and assisted suicide should be treated as murder or homicide. Guys, you've got a terrible typo here. There should be an E right in here, in between PC. You should always keep P and C separate. But in any case, they believe that euthanasia and assisted suicide should be treated as murder or homicide, irrespective of whether the person killed has consented to be killed. I disagree with that. In the case of abortion, there is no ability for... Violence says she shared me to Telegram. Thank you, Violence. I don't even use Telegram, but I appreciate the exposure. And the reason I don't use it is simply I've never gotten around to bothering to try it. Now, yeah, as I was saying, the idea that this is irrespective of consent, no, that I disagree with. If you want doctors to have the right of conscience to say, no, I won't do this, you should also give patients the right of conscience to say, yes, this is what I want. And just to have me on screen for this, when you have abortion, there's no way that child can consent. And that becomes, essentially, yeah, I don't disagree with violence. That is essentially murder. I don't necessarily think it should be prosecuted that way, but regardless, abortion is always killing. So, excuse me. Goldbanker says, in a perfect world where I can see the end coming, I want to wander into the woods, die under a tree, and be eaten by scavengers. I despise the idea of my blood and tissues being sterilized and handled. Sean Stryker says he shared me to Paul Joseph Watson's channel, so I may get some new eyes. Well, imagine my shock. Excellent. Thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, if we're talking about abortion versus euthanasia, there's a very big disconnect there. One, they're both killing, absolutely, and always killing, and killing should always be considered immoral, or at least wrong. The difference in this case is, with euthanasia, you have a degree of consent. Now, you obviously, and even when this legislation was being discussed initially, way back in the 90s, one of the very, very big factors that was pushed out was whoever makes the decision has to be of sound mind. So, for example, if... well, with me, I used to carry a card in my pocket, in my wallet, that said that if I am in some form of tragic accident where I'm placed on life support and there's no sign of brain activity, give me 3 days, pull the plug. If I don't come out of it on my own, harvest my organs and give them to people who need them. Now, I've since changed that stance. It's still 3 days. I still don't have a problem with that. 3 days was good enough for Jesus. It's good enough for me. Yes, that's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's also, I think 3 days is more than enough time for people to come to the conclusion that I'm not coming out of it. And I'm of the mind that resources are limited when it comes to a medical situation. If there's no hope that I'm coming out of it, get me out, get somebody else who needs... There might be a kid needs a kidney. Fine, give him my kidney if he needs it. I'm not going to be using it. But one of the things that was pushed, as I said, was the idea of whoever does this has to be in a good mental state. So, Sean Stryker says, abortion equals always death. Euthanasia a la $1 Million Baby equals debate. That's a very good point, Stryker. Fossils of the euthanized will never identify as trans. And Dangerous Witch says the order of the good death. Well, there is such a thing as a good death. My thinking is that, and it's very much a masculine attitude, if I die saving someone else's life, from a bear, from a gunman, whatever, that's a good death. If I die spitting in the face of someone who wants to subjugate me, I'm okay with that one too. But anyway, just to go back to the story, or the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition here, which EPCC, I'm going to guess, is Euthanasia Prevention Coalition of Canada. But yeah, I don't necessarily think this should be treated as homicide. Their purpose is to preserve and enforce legal prohibitions against mercy killing, public awareness of hospice palliative care, promote improvement in the quality. That would actually be very nice if there was greater quality. Effective methods of controlling pain and suffering. You just, give them opioids. That's pretty much your only option. We don't have a lot of analgesics. Analgesics or anesthetics? I think it's analgesics. But actual pain blocking medications. Yeah, I absolutely agree with this. There is a growing tendency to promote mercy killing as a solution to suffering, pain. Now, if me or one of my loved ones was suffering and in pain, yeah, I would want to have the ability to help them get out of that one way or another. Ideally, by surviving it. If that's not an option, it is. Monkey, that's not what I meant. And also, you have to stop poking at it, because it won't get any better. And Stryker says, back to work mode, ta-ta for now, Art and Patty. I'm not Irish! Anyway, you have a good day, Stryker. Thanks. Or he says he's back to work mode, so I'm guessing he's probably listening while he works. Sasquatch says he has a mixed opinion on this, reserves his right to opt out, but don't think anyone should assist. In some cases, your ability to opt out may depend on someone assisting. Yeah, it's not exactly anything but a muddy, messy debate, to say the least. Sanctioning of euthanasia and assisted suicide in the Netherlands. Oh, speaking of the Netherlands, let's have a look at this. These things. Yeah, that's actually a very attractive color. Oh, you can get them in orange. My god, isn't this fucking gruesome? Is that Jeremy Clarkson? I'm not 100% sure it's not Jeremy Clarkson. That's Miriam Margulies. Yeah, death at the touch of a button in a suicide pod. Where have I seen that before? I've seen this somewhere before, I swear. Oh yeah, there it is. I mean, seriously. Right? That's it's cheap. Give it that much, But, yeah, this is, and I hate to say it, but aesthetically, I almost said anesthetically, but aesthetically, this is a really attractive design. I just wish it was like a massage tube or something. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. Anyway, so this is the story I wanted to get into today a little bit. Uh, and yeah, Schadenberg did point out that the bill, if it had become law, would have protected the rights of patients as well. Because if you are a patient going through a particularly difficult time, you need to be reassured you can have a doctor who would not kill you. Like, say, this. Yeah. So this is Scott Maxwell. Go away, whatever you are. Scott Maxwell, who's the executive director of Wounded Warriors Canada, wants answers about why a veteran in need of counseling was recently advised to consider medical assistance in dying. Yeah. Let's see. Just horrifying. How is that veteran and the family doing? And then what's the impact this will have on other veterans who might be in a similar state, wanting to pick up a phone, calling an agent or a case manager to seek care? Yeah, if just one veteran does not make that phone call, we have ourselves a serious problem. Of course we do. You know, this is another thing that really irritates me, and I'm just going to close the web pages altogether at this point. I've got about 5-6 minutes to go. Actually, a little more than 10, but who's the Bond villain? I'm going to guess you meant the last fellow I showed. That was Scott Maxwell, if I recall correctly. He's the director of Wounded Warriors Canada. He's actually the head of a charity that does good things, ideally, for veterans here in the country. And that was what I was putting myself back on screen to talk about, veterans. The same way that we ignore the needs of the elderly, the needs of the extremely young, unborn, we as a society in North America, now obviously I'm not talking about all of us, but in general, we seem to have, no, definitely not a Bond villain, innocent bystander maybe if he was in a Bond movie, potentially quest giver, but violence, I'm not necessarily sure they see him as a threat so much as an expended asset. Something to be, like a fired shell casing. There's no longer a bullet and powder in there, so it's no good, throw it out. That sort of attitude is more what I'm talking about, what I'm seeing from this. Student of History says it's a Bond villain's alter ego. Have you met? No. Yeah, I've been doing this more than half an hour. Fuck it. Have I ever introduced you to Klaus Schwab? Yeah. Violence has it on good authority. There's a kill list in Canada. Okay. You've got my email address. Feel free to shoot me something connected to that, if you're willing. What have I got going on over here? Well, that's that. Okay. But my thinking is that there is too much focus on bringing in people to replace the people we're trying to discard. Veterans, the elderly, the aborted young. And what should be done instead is, I hate to say it, but Viktor Orban's not wrong. You need to protect your people if you're in power. It's a U.S. list. I think I have heard something about that violence somewhere around. I don't think it was Alex Jones I heard it from. Speaking of which, I will point out that I think what happened to Alex Jones was an absolute travesty. And I hope he appeals it all the way to the Supreme Court. And, well, those parents have had enough trouble as it is. But Alex Jones didn't shoot your kids, lady. Sorry. Let's see. Student of History says because the government doesn't want to keep paying its obligation to people who fought for them. Exactly, yeah. When you give your life, or at least give service to a country, you have the reasonable expectation that that country will take care of you for the rest of your life. Especially if what you went through for them affects you for the rest of your life. PTSD, health problems, cancers, etc. Definitely an F for Alex Jones in the chat, thank you. Or X if you're a hardcore console peasant like me. Let's see. Yeah. Billy Blogs, have you seen that the UN says white people cannot be indigenous? I wasn't aware that it was the UN that said that, but I'm not surprised. Yeah, apparently there are no indigenous people on the planet anymore in that case. Yeah. Either that or they're taking the extraterrestrial origin theory from Black Hitler. Student of History says he is a Bond villain. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely Bond villain backstory. The Lotus Eaters covered that quite a while ago, and I mean, Carl spent pretty much the entire segment going, is that true? Holy crap, kind of thing. Billy Blogs asks, what exactly did Alex Jones say that was worth nearly $1 billion? Nothing, essentially. Now, I have to be honest, I'm not 100% super well versed in his case, but as I understand it, and I did watch the Crowder episode with him on the other day, that should be available. No, it's probably not on YouTube. If you're not a Mug Clubber, I don't know that you'd ever see it. I have to look into it, but I will see if, were I to show it on Discord, if I would be liable for any sort of charge. I'll look into that. If I'm not, I will happily share my screen and watch it through again. But as Alex Jones puts it, what he did was repeat a story that he heard. And as I understand it, he was very careful to... Oh, Christopher. Oh, come on, YouTube. Hello, Christopher. For some reason, it thinks that you're not allowed to call Canadians degenerates, which is absolutely wrong. And let's see, it's 12:26, so it's afternoon. Bon après-midi, mon ami. I think I just stuttered my way through a bit of decent French there. I'm sure Violence will correct me. Let's see here. Yeah, but as I understand it, Alex repeated a story that he was told that the entire thing had been a false flag, glowy operation. He swears up and down that he has no idea who this FBI guy is, who also got paid out. Come on. YouTube hid Student of History's last comment. He said Sandy Hook was a red flag op. The families are crisis actors. Yes, okay, he has since admitted to being wrong, still got fucked 6 ways to Sunday. Yes, but he also said that story was something that was reported to him. He didn't just make it up whole cloth, if I recall correctly. Let me see. F's in the chat. Lomax Designs. Hi, Lomax. Very harsh to say, but if the retribution you require to get over the loss of your child is to sue Alex Jones for nearly $1 billion, I stop empathizing with you. It's been most of a decade, I think, since Sandy Hook happened. And if I recall correctly, one of the things Alex Jones himself points out is he's not the guy who shot those kids. And that guy's name now is just gone. It's ignored, forgotten, because of the furor around this. And that's pretty indicative of the fact that the media doesn't care about the family. They care about harming Alex Jones. Why? Should always be the first question that comes to mind. Why? Why does the media want to harm Alex Jones so badly? And I'm sure you guys can theorize about that better than I can. Let me see. The victim has become the villain. I don't know if I go that route, Lomax, necessarily, but yeah. Bon matin is good morning. Bon après-midi is afternoon. Yep, okay. Après-midi is what I was trying to say. My tongue got a little tied with La Francais there. In Europe, generally say bonjour. Yeah, or bonjour. Bon après-midi is correct. And Student of History got another thing hidden. Using the word puss bag will probably do that for you. And piece of shit, too. Adam Lanza, I remember that scrawny pussbag piece of shit's name quite well, but I live 45 minutes away. Oh, that's right, student. Yeah, you live somewhat close to where this happened. Oh, dear God. Now I've encouraged the French. Violence and Christopher conversing en la française. But, yeah, it's time to go. But, yeah, what happened with Alex Jones? It's just weird. And how did an FBI agent manage to get a payout out of it for doing his job, I assume? I'm catching about every third word that Christopher is typing there, so anyway, we'll ignore the two French for now. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, yeah, just to go back to abortion and assisted dying, the big difference is consent, in my mind. There is no way to consent to an abortion. The child cannot consent to being killed. And there was that absolutely hilarious, who was it that said that? I think it was the director of some transgender affirmation clinic or something, who said that some children know they're trans in the womb. In that case, that makes abortion transphobia. Yeah. So, you guys can have your little fights now. Let that Ouroboros have a go. Lomax is asking if I can explain the FBI payout. I didn't know about that. Yeah, I don't understand it either. And you would probably be better off, if you've got Mug Club, go and have a look at the Alex Jones thing. I'm just going to bring this up real quick. Oh, that's not supposed to be over there. That's supposed to be over here. Full screen that. And let me see. I'll just do a quick search here, see if I can screen share legally or not. Unfortunately, I'm looking at Reddit, so okay. Apparently, SCOTUS found in MAI Systems Corp versus Peak Computer, Incorporated, that loading into RAM is equivalent to making a copy for copyright law purposes. No, it's not. Because that's not a physical copy. You have no way to actually take that... Well, okay. Yeah. And, of course, the response is, well, if I buy a DVD from Sony and put it in the DVD player, push play, copy of the video is loaded into RAM over the course of playback. Yes, but the difference there is you're not sharing it to anyone. So, yeah. Let me see here. I'm not French, I'm Belgian. You're speaking French. Sorry, I apologize. I should have said le deux francophone. Christopher Everard, Swamp Frog 10-4. Oh, God. Comment ça va? Merci et toi? Based Ape says the FBI is going after Trump, going after Bannon, going after Jones. They're trying to stop another Trump victory by going after everyone who influenced Trump's rise. Yeah, that's absolutely true. They're trying to scare people away from the idea of Trump in general. Even this whole Dark Brandon, Ultra MAGA bullshit, that's all about terrifying people. Yes, even in French, I can tell that Christopher is mentioning that he's going to be interviewing Magog. Yeah, if you guys have ever followed Magog of Morscar, Christopher Everard is going to be interviewing him. I take great pride in having given Christopher the idea and making the initial contacts. So, good me, good Christopher, good Magog. I'm looking forward very much to seeing that interview. When is that, Christopher? If you would kindly let the chat know. And I believe you have a comic book writer coming up as well. Guys, if you want to shill anything, now is the time. I'm going to be shutting her down here in a few minutes, so if you guys want to network and shill, by all means, go for it. Student of History, Violence is Life, says C, which, for the record, is yes in Spanish, and potentially in French. Oh, wait, no, CI. No, that's that. Nope, I got that wrong. Violence is laughing at me. In about an hour, and finally you were nice to me during the stream. Hey, you could have been shilling anytime you wanted to. Damned freet. Anyway, guys, I'll give you all a few more seconds if you want to throw anything out for shilling. I don't believe my Mod Prime Knight popped in, but no, he didn't. Excellent. Okay, I was worried because I was feeling bad that I might have missed him. C is Spanish, we is French. Yeah, but I think C also gets used as yes in French, depending on your dialect. Christopher wants to know how my wood is. None of your business. Lomax says, I hate the French, have a lovely day. He's Belgian. Italian, yeah. I think Latin, probably C is also yes. In any case, guys, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you continue to have good days. And rise again until lambs become lions.